My best regards and respects to you all, revered modern teachers. The, the third address is on great benefits of Sivananda literature in life building, character building, and man making education for our modern students. Earlier, we had discussed in the previous addresses that the life building, character building, and man making education or moral, ethical, religious, and spiritual education, which is called as value education in the modern time, is restored completely and permanently in our modern schools, colleges, universities, and our modern students need to study. Till that, our modern students need to study in their own interest spiritual literature, because the same is the source of life building, character building, and man making education or moral, ethical, religious, and spiritual education or value education. Spiritual literature means standard works like Vedas, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Manu Smriti, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Granth Sahib, Quran, Bible, Jain Dhavesta, and other holy spiritual scriptures of various religions. Spiritual literature also means the books written by spiritually illumined, God realized rishis, munis, saints, sages, and prophets. Those standard spiritual literatures are in classical language such as in Sanskrit, Urdu, etc., and therefore it may not be possible for most of our modern students to study the same, as they may not be knowing the languages like Sanskrit, Urdu, etc. Even if some of them know the languages like Urdu or Sanskrit, they can study the scriptures. The inner or true meaning of the teaching content in them may not be understood properly by them. In such a situation, some of the great spiritually illumined, God realized saints, sages, and prophets who have studied those standard spiritual scriptures meticulously, understood the teachings contained in them correctly, and practiced those teachings in their lives successfully. They have written a good number of books on spiritual subjects. In their books, they have explained the teachings contained in the ancient spiritual scriptures and given their own commentaries on the same in the simple manner and in widely read modern languages like English, Hindi, etc. Hence, our modern students can study such books and easily acquire detailed knowledge on various topics of life building, character building, and man making education, or on the subject of life building and successful living, or insert the life building science such as good physical health, powerful mind, noble character, ethical conduct, celibacy, Indian culture, religion, spirituality, etc. After studying these books, our modern students can practice the same in their day to day life, decide the right goals and right path of their precious human life, build their precious human life rightly by laying a proper and strong foundation, and by constructing thereupon a complete, proper, strong, and nice superstructure during their golden student life and youth period, and live the life completely, purposefully, prosperously, happily, peacefully, successfully, and ideally. Thereby, they will derive immense benefits for themselves. One such modern saint is His Holiness Swami Sivananda Saraswati, the founder president of the International Divine Life Society Rishikesh, Uttarakhand, India. He is regarded all over the world as a towering, perfect, spiritually illumined, God realized saint of the modern time. He has written many books nearly 300 books on almost all aspects of human life, commencing from health and hygiene to religion and spirituality. By studying those books, our modern students can learn teachings on almost all topics of life building, character building, and man making education, or on the subject of life building and successful living, or life building science. Those books are known as Sivananda literature. Therefore, our modern students can most profitably study Sivananda literature. Now, let us discuss briefly about Swami Sivananda Saraswati and Sivananda literature. Because knowledge about the authors of books creates interest and eagerness in the minds of the readers to study the books written by them with full faith, due earnestness, and greater acceptability. And knowledge about the books written by authors enlightens the readers about their relevance, importance, and benefits of those books and creates inquisitiveness, interest, and eagerness in the minds of the readers to study those books with full faith, due earnestness, and greater acceptability. So let us know about His Holiness Swami Sivananda Saraswati. Swami Sivananda Saraswati was born as P.V. Kuppuswamy on the 8th September 1887 in the illustrious family of the sage Appaya Dikhitar and several other renowned saints and savants in Pattamadai in Tamil Nadu. His mother was a pious lady. She belonged to a highly, his mother was belonged to a highly religious family. He has a natural flair for a life devoted to the study of and practice of Vedanta. He had an inborn desire to serve all humanity. His passion for service drew him to the medical career and he became a doctor by profession. He went to Malaysia, and rendered his medical service to the sick people there. In the hospitals in Malaya in which he worked, he spent all his energy and time in relieving human sufferings by serving the sick and poor day and night with a sympathetic heart. This type of selfless service gave him purification of heart and mind and led him to the spiritual path. In course of his medical service, his inborn spirit of vairagya or dispassion came out from within. Then he gave up the life of ease, comfort and luxury, renounced his lucrative medical career at Malaya in 1923, came back to India, settled down at Rishikesh, Himalayas. So you can say he came from Malaya to Himalaya, obtained sannyasa diksha from his spiritual preceptor or adhyatmika guru, Paramahansa Swami Viswananda Saraswati, on the bank of Holy Ganges, and took to the life of complete renunciation or sannyasa life. He practiced intense spiritual practices, austerities, and prolonged deep meditation, and attained spiritual illumination or self-realization or God realization. He is shown as a great yogi, parabhakta, saint, sage, and jivan mukta, or a liberated human being. The doctor of body and mind became the doctor of the soul. Swami Sivananda Saraswati is widely regarded as a broad-minded, Catholic, liberal, world-renowned saint of modern India. He believes in the common fatherhood of one God and universal brotherhood of all human beings. To him, all human beings, irrespective of their religion, faith, belief, nationality, caste, creed, color, sect, gender, etc., are equal. Many of his disciples and followers include Christians and Muslims, apart from Hindus. He treats all religion as essentially one. He pays equal respect to all religions and exhorts that all religions speak the same truth. He also says that the essence of all religions, that is, universal good qualities like truth, non-violence, love, compassion, purity, forgiveness, tolerance, universal brotherhood, doing good to others or paropakara is essence of all religions. Worked for unity of religions in the society and the world. He also worked for world peace. The International Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, founded by him, is purely a non-sectarian spiritual organization, and anybody who vows to adhere to truth, satya, non-violence, ahimsa, and purity or brahmacharya can become its member, irrespective of his religion, faith, belief, caste, creed, color, sect, gender, and nationality, etc. Many Christians and Muslims, apart from Hindus, are also its members. The main objective of the Divine Life Society is dissemination of spiritual and cultural knowledge amongst the people. The purpose of such dissemination is that people can acquire spiritual knowledge and thereafter they can practice the same and transform themselves into divinity by shedding their animal instincts, developing human qualities, and unfolding their latent divine faculties. Thus, they can live a noble, ethical, and spiritual life and make endeavors to attain self realization or God realization or moksha, the state of divinity, the state of perfection, which is the supreme grand goal of ideal human life or summum bonum of human life, as stated in our ancient spiritual scriptures and as said by our rishis, munis, saints, and sages, and according to our great, glorious, lofty, unique, and ideal ancient Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskruti. Thereby, they can derive lasting happiness and eternal peace, and there will be permanent cessation of worldly sorrows, sufferings, pains, and miseries in their lives. Thus, they can live their rare and precious human life upon the earth plane happily, peacefully, successfully, and ideally. After attainment of spiritual illumination, the mission of the life of Swami Sivananda Saraswati became dissemination of the spiritual knowledge that he gained during his severe austerities, prolonged meditation, and intense spiritual sadhana amongst the entire humanity in order to show them the right path of life. With such a mission, he commenced his real service to the entire modern mankind. Millions of people across the world, irrespective of their religion, faith, belief, caste, creed, cult, sect, color, gender, nationality, flock to Swami Sivananda Saraswati for spiritual guidance, light, and solace. Swami Sivananda Saraswati embraced them all and showed them the right path of life. Now, Sivananda's literature. The intense desire of Swami Sivananda Saraswati to disseminate spiritual knowledge amongst the entire modern mankind and his mission to serve them through such dissemination made him to write more than 300 most valuable books. He wrote those books on all aspects of human life, commencing from health and hygiene to religion and spirituality, and for all categories and for all classes of people for their guidance. His books are known as Sivananda literature, which is regarded as a class by itself. Sivananda literature is widely read throughout the world and has earned great eminence all over the world. Sivananda literature is a many-sided, all-inclusive, and comprehensive, veritable ocean of most valuable immortal teachings with several unique features. Those teachings are greatly enlightening and immensely beneficial for the entire modern mankind, including the modern students and youths. Swami Sivananda Saraswati had special interest for the education, development and welfare of the modern students and youth, and therefore he has written many books specially for students, youths for their benefits. Some of his books have been prescribed as textbooks in some schools and colleges in India and abroad. Sivananda literature can most eminently meet the requirements of our modern students for the following reasons. So, firstly, the Sivananda literature is vast and rich with teachings on almost all topics on the subjects of life building science which are most acutely needed by our modern students. Sivananda literature is vast and rich with right kind of teachings on almost all topics of life building, character building, and man making education, or on the subject of life building and successful living, or insert life building science such as good physical health, powerful mind, noble character, ethical conduct or sadachara, celibacy or brahmacharya, Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti, religion or dharma, and spirituality or adhyatma, etc. Our modern students need such education the most, and that too very acutely, for building their life rightly. That is, for laying the foundation of their life properly and strongly, and for constructing the superstructure of their life completely, properly, strongly, and nicely, and for living their life completely, purposefully, prosperously, happily, peacefully, successfully, and ideally. Those teachings contained in Sivananda literature are very comprehensive and self-contained. Therefore, our modern students can have the opportunity of studying all those teachings and meeting all their requirements on all such topics from a single source. Secondly, Sivananda literature is unique with several features. Sivananda literature is unique with several features, some of which I am telling now. Sivananda literature contains the essence of all spiritual scriptures and religious literatures. Most of the spiritual scriptures and religious literatures in their originals are said to be archaic and have been written many a time in obscure and allegorical language. Also, many such scriptures have been written in the form of verses and sutras without being expounded. Therefore, the real or deep or inner meaning of the teachings contained in those scriptures is not easily comprehensible and is not immediately perceptible to the vast majority of modern men. Hence, Swami Sivananda Saraswati studied and churned those scriptures and literatures, brought out the most precious essence of the teachings contained in them, and presented such essence of the teachings in the books written by him. The common mankind can study those books containing such essence, and that too from one source with great ease, and can understand the teachings contained therein correctly. Secondly, Sivananda literature is practical. The teachings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati are not merely academic, theoretical, or abstract teachings, but are practical. His writings spotlight the practical aspects of religion and spiritual science. His teachings tell the readers not so much of what they should believe in or what they should merely know, but what they should practically do and how they should practice in their daily life in order to achieve success. Thus, Sivananda literature is ready-made practical instructions for the readers for their direct and instant practice. Therefore, the readers need not go to somewhere else in order to find out the practical instructions for putting them in their spiritual practice or adhyatmika sadhana in their life. Thirdly, Sivananda literature is based on his personal experiences and is therefore very powerful, forceful, and effective. The writings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati are based on his own personal experiences. He wrote those teachings only after successfully applying, practicing, and experiencing the same in his own life. His teachings are charged with the divine power which he derived from his own severe austerity, deep meditation, prolonged spiritual practice or adhyatmika sadhana, and God. Therefore, the writings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati are very powerful, forceful, and effective, and those directly penetrate into the hearts of the readers. Fourthly, Sivananda literature is highly awakening, greatly inspiring, heart touching, soul elevating, and life transforming. Swami Sivananda Saraswati, being a God realized saint, his writings are a very powerful awakener. Those writings instantly awaken the modern man, students, and youth to rise them from their slumber and then profoundly inspire them to start living a noble, ethical, and spiritual life. His writings are heart touching, soul elevating, and life transforming. Reading of a few sentences of his writings is enough to bring out radical change in the lives of readers and transform them, even the atheists, into spiritual persons. Fifthly, Sivananda literature is scientific and therefore highly acceptable and greatly appealing to the modern men, students, and youth. The modern men, more particularly the modern students and youth, approach all matters in a spirit of investigation, and they seek first to know the why and how of the things before accepting them. They also always expect tangible results of their practice to be undertaken, which are undertaken by them. To such modern men, students, and youth, Sivananda literature, which gives a rationalistic treatment to the subject and usually explains the subject in a scientific manner. So, it is highly acceptable and greatly appealing. Sixthly, Sivananda literature infuses optimism, positivism, enthusiasm, hope, faith, confidence, and encouragement in the minds of the modern men, students, and youth. The writings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati are always positive in their tone. Therefore, Sivananda literature infuses optimism, positivism, enthusiasm, hope, faith, confidence, and encouragement in the minds of the modern men, students, and youth. When enthusiasm lacks and faith wavers, the living words of Swami Sivananda Saraswati infuse fresh zeal and revive faith in the hearts of the readers. Further, Swami Sivananda Saraswati always took the positive course of encouraging and infusing new hope and optimism into the minds of the modern men, students, and youth, and seldom took condemnatory attitude towards them. Therefore, his literature greatly appeals to the modern men, students, and youth, and are highly effective in molding their thoughts and conduct. Seventhly, Sivananda literature has been written in the widely used, modern, and simple language. Swami Sivananda Saraswati has presented his writings to the modern men, students, and youth in the widely used modern language like English. Also, Swami Sivananda Saraswati has written his book in very simple language, in short sentences, and without using difficult and complicated words. His writings are also very clear and lucid. Therefore, the vast common modern men, students, and youth, even a high school student, can easily read his writings and very well understand their meaning even with a single reading. Eighthly, Sivananda literature attaches great importance on practice of spirituality, commencing from the student life and youth period itself. As the well-wisher of the students and youth, Swami Sivananda Saraswati exerts inspires and encourages modern students and youth to commence practicing spirituality together with their school, college, or university education from their student life and youth period itself instead of postponing it to a distant future or to the post retirement period. Because student life and youth period is the most precious and most conducive period of one's life when one is the best state of health and mind, and therefore they can easily and effectively practice spirituality, and thereby they can derive maximum benefits for themselves. Now, Sivananda literature is universal in scope. Swami Sivananda Saraswati deeply studied the spiritual scriptures of the ancient and modern times and the scriptural writings of almost all great saints, sages, prophets of all religions of the world, collected the cream of the same and presented them in the books in his own language and in his inimitable style. His writings are thus a beautiful unification of and synthetic combination of such diverse teachings. Therefore, the teachings contained in his books are universal in scope, and hence his teachings are acceptable, appealing, and beneficial to all people of the world, irrespective of their nationality, religion, faith, belief, cult, creed, sect, color, gender, etc. Millions of people belonging to different nations, religions, faiths, beliefs, sects, creeds, colors, etc., all over the world have studied his books and derived immense benefits. Fourthly, Sivananda literature is highly student friendly. Swami Sivananda Saraswati had special interest in the modern students and youth. He imparted them teachings regarding good physical health, powerful mind, noble character, ethical conduct, celibacy, personality development, success in life, religion, spirituality, etc. He tried to mold the students through imparting of moral, ethical, religious, and spiritual teachings. He spoke to the students not as a master, but as a friend and well wisher. He always took the positive course of encouraging and infusing new hope and optimism into students and youth, and seldom took condemnatory attitude towards them. Therefore, his teachings are highly appealing to the students and youth. He also addressed the students and youth directly, which gives them the feeling of a personal touch and also which creates a feeling of intimacy, sense of interest, and ready acceptability of his teachings in their minds. His teachings are in simple languages, and even a high school student can understand the same very well. In view of this, Sivananda literature is highly student friendly. Therefore, the teachings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati have been well received and readily accepted by the modern students and youth. Millions of modern students all over the world have been studying Sivananda literature and are deriving immense benefits for themselves. With such vast and rich content and with so many unique features, Sivananda literature can most eminently meet the requirements of our modern students and guide them for proceeding in the right path of life and for building their life rightly by laying a proper and strong foundation with good physical health, powerful mind, noble character, or satcharitra, ethical conduct or good conduct or righteous conduct or virtuous conduct or sadachara, with strict observance of complete celibacy or purna brahmacharya, for attaining integrated and harmonious development of their physical body, mind, intellect, heart and soul, for developing an excellent personality, for acquiring knowledge on Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti, religion or dharma, and spirituality or adhyatma, for becoming good human beings, for constructing the superstructure of their life completely, properly, strongly and nicely, for living the religious and noble life, for living the spiritual life, for achieving the higher purpose of human life, that is liberation of the individual soul from the cycle of births and deaths, or union of the individual soul with the supreme soul, or self-realization, or God realization, or moksha, which is the supreme grand goal of ideal human life, as stated in our ancient spiritual scriptures and according to our country's great, glorious, lofty, unique, and ideal ancient Indian culture or Bharatiya Sanskriti, and thus for living an ideal, successful, complete, purposeful, prosperous, happy, and peaceful human life, both secular and spiritual. In this connection, the world renowned Saint Swami Krishnananda Saraswati, one of the great disciples of Swami Sivananda Saraswati, says, students are molded to the education they receive, says Swamiji. At a time when education in this country has lost much of its meaning by its being devoid of man-making spiritual concept, Sivananda literature comes as a God-sent boon to the students' community. No one perhaps is better qualified to advise the students and command their love and reverence than Swami Sivananda, because Swamiji speaks not as a master but as a friend and well-wisher. Says he, I speak as your humble sevaka and hitakankshi. Whatever I say by way of friendship, and you have to act upon it after hearing me. Please accept this as a gift and make it your own. Gurudev's gift not only to youth but to the whole mankind. In his literature, sweet and sublime, vast and luminous, the divine literature in commemoration of which Sivananda Literature Festival is being celebrated today. That means the first Sivananda Literature Festival was held on 20th July 1959 throughout the whole world. Millions the world over have benefited materially and spiritually through the study of Swamiji's life-transforming works. The teachings of Swami Sivananda Saraswati from his saintly heart as contained in Sivananda literature are immortal. Therefore, those are a great blessings not only to the generation in which he lived, but also to the generation and generation to come after him. The world-renowned saint Swami Chidananda Saraswati, the spiritual successor and the great disciple of Swami Sivananda, while delivering a talk on his holy spiritual master, said, our daily life should be a response to that call from darkness to light. And Holy Master, having become illumined with that light, wished to share it with all mankind, with all his brethren. And this great and intense urge from his great heart manifested itself as 300 books and his free distribution of innumerable pamphlets. This sharing was 100% of his life. It marked his entire being. Share, may all be illumined. May all attain that great peace. May all become blessed. May all become liberated. That was our Holy Master. He further said, and through this institution that he established, he continues to do that sublime work. Fortunate indeed is mankind. Blessed are generations that have come after him, for he made his light to shine perpetually. He has made it Akhanda Jyoti. He has made a permanent, unbroken light, banishing the darkness, illumining the pathway of life of all sincere seekers. In view of the foregoing, so Sivananda literature can most eminently meet the requirement of our modern students on various topics of life building, character building, and man-making education, or the subject of life building and successful living, or life building science. Forever, generations after generation, and hence our modern students can most profitably study Sivananda literature and derive immense benefits in their lives, both secular and spiritual. Now, let us discuss the topic-wise selected books written by Swami Sivananda Saraswati, which can most eminently meet the requirements of our modern students on life building, character building, and man making education, or the subject of life building and successful living, or in short, life building science. First, we will know about the books on all topics. The first book is Life Building Science. This textbook seeks to impart introductory knowledge on various topics of life building science to our modern students. The second book is Youth, Arise, Awake, and Adopt the Right Path of Life. This book of compilation is in 16 volumes. This book seeks to impart detailed knowledge on various topics of life building science to our modern students. Second, we will see the topic wise selected books. Topic on good physical health. The books written by Swami Sivananda are on this topic of good physical health are Yoga Asanas. Second one is Science of Pranayama, very popular book. Third is Health and Diet. Fourth is Health and Hygiene. Fifth one is Health and Happiness. On the topic of powerful mind, which is most sought after, the books written by him on this subject is Thought Power, Mind, Its Mysteries and Control, Conquest of Mind, Concentration and Meditation. Very important books and have been widely accepted, widely read by all sincere seekers. And on the topic of noble character, the books written by him are How to Cultivate Virtues and Eradicate Vices, Universal Moral Lessons, Conquest of Anger, and Conquest of Fear. On the topic Ethical Conduct, the books written by Swami Sivananda are Ethical Teachings, and another book, Universal Moral Lessons. On the topic of celibacy, the book written by him is Practice of Brahmacharya. On the topic of Insights into Human Life, the books written by him are Know Thyself, and another book is Philosophy of Life. On the topic of religion, the books written by him is All About Hinduism. On the topic of on spirituality, the books written by him are Guru Tattva. Another book is Practice of Karma Yoga. Another book is Essence of Bhakti Yoga. Another is Practice of Bhakti Yoga, Japa Yoga, Raja Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Essence of Vedanta, Practice of Vedanta, Principal Upanishads, Brahma Sutra, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Satsanga and Swadhyaya, and a very famous book named as Sadhana. On the topic of unity of religions, the book written by him is Unity of Religions. On the topic world peace, a book is named as written by him as World Peace. And on general topics, the books are Religious Education, Moral and Spiritual Regeneration in the World, Sure Ways for Success in Life and God Realization. A very famous book and has been widely read by many students across the globe. Students' Success in Life, Inspiring Stories, Spiritual Lessons, Students' Spiritual Literature, and Sivananda, written by Swami Chidananda Saraswati. By studying these books, our modern students can acquire right and comprehensive knowledge on life building, character building, and man making education on all topics of the subject of life building and successful living, or in short, life building science. Thereafter, our modern students need to practice the knowledge so gained in their day to day life sincerely and meticulously and decide the right goal of their precious human life. Build their rare and precious human life completely, properly, strongly, and nicely with right foundation and right superstructure during your golden student life and youth period itself, which is the right period of your life. Thereby, the students can live their rare and precious human life upon the earth plane ideally and successfully, that is, economically and materially prosperously, as well as spiritually happily and peacefully. And in this manner, they can derive immense benefits for themselves. Simultaneously, they can become worthy assets of their families, or the sons and daughters of our motherland, good members of the society, and ideal citizens of the nation and of the world. Our revered teachers can utilize Sivananda literature as teaching materials for imparting teachings to their students on the subject of life building and successful